The first time I heard Princess Adaora say, I will show them that I not only have the pride of a peacock, but also the beauty of a peacock, I knew trouble was coming. She said it loudly, right in front of the village women at the stream, and they gasped. Adora didn't care. She simply tossed her long braids over her shoulder, picked up her clay pot, and walked back towards the palace. Adora, the only daughter of Eze Chukwuma, was no ordinary girl. She was known for her beauty and her sharp tongue. In Amucha, no one dared speak to her disrespectfully. She wasn't wicked, but she always made it clear that she was above the rest of us. She wore the finest clothes and spoke in a way that made others feel small. Still, people feared and admired her from afar. The problem began during the Iriji, the New Yam Festival. Every year, young maidens would dance in the square, their step light as the wind, while the elders watched with joy. This time, Adora was invited to lead the dance. Everyone expected her to see the show. But as soon as she stepped into the square, a murmur spread through the crowd. Naoma, the daughter of a simple farmer, had outshone her. Norma's beauty wasn't loud like Adora's. It was gentle, like the morning dew. Her dance was graceful, her smile radiant. Even the drummers seemed to play louder when she moved. By the end of the performance, the elders praised Norma, and the young men were already singing her name. Adora, standing at the edge of the crowd, clenched her face. She will not take my place, Adora told me that evening when I came to deliver the king's messages. I was just a town crier, but she often spoke to me because she knew I listened without interrupting. Let them sing her name today, but tomorrow they will remember who I am. The next day, Adora announced a grand feast in the palace courtyard. She ordered the finest abacha and nkwobi, sweet palm wine, and enough kola nuts to fill the headhouse. She made sure everyone in the village was invited, including Norma and her family. When the day came, Adora was dressed in a flowing red power. Her neck was and wrist heavy with coral beads. As she walked through the crowd, people whispered about her beauty. I will show them that I not only have the pride of a peacock, but also the beauty of a peacock, she said to me, smiling confidently. The feast was grand, but halfway through, a storm rolled in. The sky darkened and rain poured down like the gods were angry. The food was ruined, the decorations destroyed, and the guests fled to their homes. Adora stood in the rain, staring at the chaos, her pride wounded. The elders took this as a bad omen. They called a meeting the next day and told the king that his daughter had offended the gods with her pride. She must humble herself, said Nzokoro, the oldest elder. She must go to the sacred grove and offer a prayer of atonement. Adora refused. I did nothing wrong, she said. Why should I apologize for wanting to remind people who I am? Her father, Eze Chukwuma, was furious. You have brought shame to this family, he told her. You will do as the elders say, or you will face the consequences. Adora eventually agreed, but only to appease her father. She thought it was just a simple ritual. What she didn't know was that the gods had their own plans. On the morning of the ceremony, Adora was taken to the sacred grove. She was dressed in a plain white clothes, with no jewelry or makeup. For someone who had always been adorned in the finest clothes, It was humiliating. The Dibia instructed her to kneel and recite a prayer. But as she knelt, a strong wind blew through the grove, and Adaora felt a strange heaviness in her chest. For weeks after the ritual, Adaora was unwell. She couldn't eat, and her once radiant skin grew pale. The villagers whispered that the gods were punishing her, but the Dibia said she had been given a second chance. She must change her ways, he said. Only then will she heal. Adora's illness humbled her. She started greeting people in the village, helping women at the stream, and even spending time with the children. At first, people thought it was an act, but over time, they saw the change was real. When she recovered, she no longer spoke of pride or beauty. Instead, she used her position to help others. One day, I asked her why she had changed. She smiled softly and said, I realized that the peacock's beauty fades if it doesn't open its feathers for others to see. What good is pride if it leaves you standing alone? From then on, Adaora was not just the princess of Amucha. She became a true leader, loved and respected by all. And while the memory of her prideful days lingered, they were overshadowed by the grace she had learned through her trials.